What's going on, guys? I'm here today with my NFL Week 4 picks and predictions for the 2012 NFL season. And now I'm coming off of two very tough weeks. Last week was especially tough because of 9 upsets, and there was just so many picks that I did not see come, like the Vikings even beating the 49ers, the Titans beating the Lions, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars beating the Colts, and there were some other matchups that went the other way that I did not see coming. And so I'm looking to rebound this week. Hopefully this is the week I rebound and get back on track. But I'm sitting at a really low record for picks right now. I forgot my overall record. But I'm already 1-0 this week after predicting the Baltimore Ravens to defeat the Cleveland Browns 23-13. Final score was 23-16, so I was very close. And hopefully that sets me up for some success this week. But there are a lot of divisional matchups this week, so I can see a lot of games going either way because divisional matchups are always very tough. I mean, even Cleveland at Baltimore, the Browns had a chance at the very end to tie it up. It was very close. And so we're going to get into an AFC East matchup. First off, we have the New England Patriots, and they are traveling to the Buffalo Bills. And now Buffalo's been a hard team for me to judge this year. I expect them to dominate in Week 1, which they got dominated, and then I lost faith in them, and they played very well in Weeks 2 and 3. But part of why they played so well is because of the emergence of C.J. Spiller. He's questionable this week. Fred Jackson is questionable this week. And I'm just not a big fan of their passing game outside of C.J. Spiller's involvement and Stevie Johnson. And I got to take New England in this game because I can't see them losing another game and going to 1-3 on the season. It's already weird to see them under 500. I think Tom Brady and that offense finds a way to get the victory in this one. Although I expect a hard-fought matchup, and I could see Buffalo winning this game. I would not be surprised. But I'm taking Tom Brady and the New England Patriots by a score of 26-20. Next up, we have the team that I called the most angry team in Week 4, but that was before Monday Night Football, so the Packers took that title. But we have the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the New York Jets for a road game after the 49ers lost to the Minnesota Vikings. And now some people think the Jets have a chance in this game because they have a similar mold as the Vikings do. They like to run the football. And I wonder if we're going to start seeing more Bilal Powell because he offers a lot more to his skill set than Sean Green does, which I think Sean Green is just an average at best running back and should not be a starter. He should be a secondary running back or split time with somebody. But I got to take San Fran in this game because the Jets are without Darrelle Revis. I think that is a huge blow. The best player on their team is now out, and San Fran is going to be angry. The defense is going to be ready to go. They're going to put pressure on Mark Sanchez, I believe, after not sacking Christian Ponder even one time. And so I call this a rebound game for the San Francisco 49ers. I have them winning this game 23-10. On to an NFC West matchup, the Seattle Seahawks, who were the ultimate victors in Monday night's football game. And then we have them playing against the St. Louis Rams, who are a much improved team, especially on defense. Jeff Fisher, I think, is the right coach for this team. And I've debated this picks a lot this week. I've wanted to take the Rams. I had the Rams early in the week as my prediction, but then I just trying to think of how are they going to score against Seattle's defense. Their best threat at receiver right now and their best chance, I think, of getting yards on offense is this game is Danny Amendola on screen passes and working him underneath and trying to get yards after the catch because Seattle's secondary is very good. And I think Sam Bradford is going to be under pressure a lot. He's going to be prone to making some mistakes. I think as long as Russell Wilson takes care of the football and they don't lose a turnover battle in this game and allow Cortland Finnegan to get a pick six or allow the defense of the St. Louis Rams to win this game, I'm taking Seattle in this one in a low-scoring matchup, 17-12. Next up, NFC South matchup, the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. Atlanta's coming off of an impressive win on the West Coast at San Diego, and their offense is rolling right now, and Matt Ryan has played like the best quarterback this season over the first 3 games. So I am taking Atlanta in this one. I'm just not a fan of Carolina's offense. I think they need another playmaker in the passing game, and their defense got carved up by Eli Manning last week on Thursday Night Football, and right now I can't see Matt Ryan losing at the Georgia Dome, so I'm taking Atlanta 34-17. And on to Minnesota at Detroit. Now I have a video on my channel for this one. I think it will be up before or after this video. I'm not sure exactly, but you can see a more in-depth analysis of that game on that video. But I'm taking the Vikings in that one 23-20 as long as they can remain balanced, not let Megatron take over the football game. Next up, San Diego at Kansas City, and the Chargers, of course, lost a very bad game for them to the Atlanta Falcons, and Kansas City is coming off of a victory against the New Orleans Saints, and it's in Arrowhead Stadium, and I like Kansas City this week because they have more firepower on offense. That San Diego offense is just not impressive to me. I mean, Malcolm Floyd hasn't done a whole lot at the number 1 receiver spot. Antonio Gates hasn't had a big impact this year, and he's had trouble staying on the field consistently. And I think the lack of weapons for San Diego hurts them in this game. I think think that the pass rush from Kansas City gets to them and puts Phillip Rivers down a few times and makes him make some mistakes. And I just like Kansas City's offense in this game, especially if Jamal Charles can help take over this one the way he did in New Orleans. In that passing game can also be opened up with John Baldwin and Dwayne Bowe. So I'm taking Kansas City in this one, 24-17. Next up, AFC South matchup, Tennessee traveling to the Houston Texans, one of the teams called the best team in football right now. They are undefeated, and they're playing against a Tennessee team that pulled it off against Detroit last week with the help of 2 special teams touchdowns, a pick six, and a late overtime victory. But Jake Locker is known for his inaccuracy, and this pass rush from the Houston Texans can get to him. J.J. Watt, arguably one of the best defensive players playing so far this season, he's probably going to be pressuring Jake Locker a lot. And the Houston Texans also have a very good offense, just a very complete team right now. I like Houston at home, 34-17. On the Cincinnati at Jacksonville. And now I've experimented with this one time. Jacksonville in an upset at home. I had it in week 2, catching the Texans off guard. That didn't work. That was a horrible call by me. But I look at Cincinnati's defense right now. I see all of these holes. They gave a lot of points to the Browns, too, in that week 2 game they played. And they just have so many injuries right now, especially in their secondary. Is that enough for Blaine Gabbert to get this going and to have Justin Blackmon actually make some catches and make an impact in the game? Regardless, I think Maurice Jones-Drew has a good day on the ground, and he helps keep the ball out of Andy Dalton's hands and him throwing the ball to Andrew Hawkins and A.J. Green, Jermaine Gresham, and Ben Jarvis Green Ellis running the football. But I'm going to take Jacksonville in this game because of the injuries that Cincinnati has and Maurice Jones-Drew. And I'm not saying that their passing game is going to get going, but I think that they could given the injuries in this secondary from the Bengals. So I have the Jacksonville Jaguars winning at home in an upset, 21-17. Next up, the surprising Oakland Raiders, who got a victory last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Carson Palmer has played pretty good this year despite a weak receiving core. It's also been battling with some injuries. Obviously, Darius Hayward-Bay is probably not going to play this week, and they are taking on the Denver Broncos in an AFC West matchup. And Denver is 1-2 on the season after losing 2 games to the Texans and the Falcons, where they could not come back late. And I think this week they get back on track. They get a victory against this Oakland secondary. I think they can do a lot of damage against them with Eric Decker and Demaryius Thomas. And I'm giving this one to the Broncos, 27-17. And next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Miami Dolphins in Arizona. And now, I've picked against the Cardinals all 3 weeks this season, and then I got to thinking to myself, should I pick against them again this week? Could this be a trap game for him here? Maybe a little bit too much confidence in Ryan Tannehill and that offense gets going? I'm not counting on it. I'm going to take the Cardinals in this game because their defense is so good. They're at home, and I think they can make Ryan Tannehill make some mistakes. I think Patrick Peterson, he's going to have a pick 6 in this game. I'm predicting Patrick Peterson with a pick 6, and I just can't see Miami scoring too many touchdowns, especially if they have Reggie Bush not playing this week, which currently he is questionable. But is Reggie Bush at 85-90% good enough to take apart this Arizona defense? I don't think so. You stack the box against Ryan Tannehill, you blitz the hell out of him on passing downs, you contain the run, you win this football game, Arizona. And so I have the Cardinals winning, and hopefully Kevin Cobb doesn't have his worst game of the season and makes me wrong when I actually pick the Cardinals. I have them winning 24-12. And I have them giving up 4 field goals. So next up, we have the game. I have spent the most time debating this next game, and I better get this one right because I've been thinking about it so much. I've gone back and forth multiple times. Washington Redskins at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's like, what's going to give? Because we have Tampa Bay. Their offense hasn't been explosive this year. They had that one good game against the Giants, but other than that, it's like, okay, when's Josh Freeman going to step up? But then you have the Washington defense with all those injuries. They gave up a lot of points last week, and they are also scoring a lot of points. And so what's going to give this game? And Tampa Bay is at home in this one, and they have the #1 rush defense, I believe, right now in the NFL. And I personally think, after watching some of the Redskins games on Game Rewind, NFL Game Rewind, I think their offense is at their best when they can run the football and remain balanced. And against Tampa Bay's #1 rush defense, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to remain balanced in this game. Although RG3 has been very impressive this year, I don't like their chances, especially if Pierre Garçon doesn't play. But if he does play, he could be a game breaker against this weak secondary that Tampa Bay has. But right now, I'm sitting with Tampa Bay. I'm sticking with Tampa Bay, 27-24. And I'll be following that game to see if I actually get that one right. Next up, New Orleans traveling to Green Bay. Now, Green Bay is the most angry team this week, I would say, after that loss to the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football and that controversial call. I'm not going to talk about it in this video either, but New Orleans is coming off a loss, and they are in a downward spiral right now without Sean Payton or Joe Vitt. So the intern for the interim is currently 0-3, and I see him going 0-4 in this game because that defense from New Orleans is just ugly. And I think finally Green Bay's offense gets back on track this week. Now remember, they've played against the 49ers, the Bears, and they've also played against the Seattle Seahawks. So I'm not surprised that their offense hasn't gotten going. A good defense can usually stop a good offense. So I'm taking Green Bay in this game, in a game where there's no field goals kicked. 35-21, Green Bay rebounds. And now the second most debated game for me on this week's schedule, the New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. Now from the very beginning, I'm like, I want to take the Giants really bad in this game. I don't give the Eagles much of a hope. But it's an NFC East matchup, it's in Philadelphia, and the Eagles are such a hard team to predict, except for they've been awfully consistent this year at turning over the football. They have yet to play one completely good football game, whereas the Giants are coming off of a big victory over the Carolina Panthers, have some extra rest for this game, but still have some injuries. I mean, Hakeem Nicks is doubtful, I think Jaron Hosley is out, David Deal is out. Can Eli Manning do what he did with the receiving core that he has against the Panthers and translate that against Nnamdi Asomugha, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Brandon Boykin, Kurt Coleman, and this Philadelphia secondary? Can he do that? I don't exactly have all the confidence in the world of that happening, but Michael Vick, he's been a turnover machine, and the Giants still have a very good front four. No injuries there about JPP and Justin Tucker I have to worry about, and so maybe this is the game where Michael Vick actually gets hurt and we have to see Nick Foles play. But I'm taking the Giants in this game because I have more confidence in them, although I was leaning with Philadelphia for a while because they're at home, and the NFC East, it's like, yeah, this team is really good, this team's playing horrible, the horrible team's going to win this game. If Philadelphia wins, I will not be the least bit surprised. I have the Giants winning, though, on the road, 24-21. And finally, this is the game I predict to be one of the hardest games to watch this week. It's going to be an ugly turnover fest, I'm predicting. The Chicago Bears and the Dallas Cowboys, and I say this because both teams' offensive lines are terrible, and both teams can pressure the quarterback. I could see a lot of interceptions, a lot of turnovers, just an ugly football game is what I'm predicting. I think it's going to happen this week, especially because Chicago's been pretty good against the run, and if Dallas stops the run as well, and Jay Cutler and Tony Romo have to pass each like 40-50 times, oh boy, this could get ugly in a hurry. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun game to watch, though. It's going to be hard to watch, but keep your eyes open for all the interceptions that are going to be coming, I think. In the end, I take the Dallas Cowboys because they are at home, and I think DeMarcus Ware against Jay Cutler is a better matchup for them because at least the Dallas Cowboys have Tyron Smith, and the Chicago Bears have Jamarcus Webb, and you all know how I think about Jamarcus Webb. So I have Dallas winning this game 24-20. No, screw that. I'm going to go Dallas 25, Chicago 19. This game is going to be ugly, and I'm predicting some weird numbers for scores as well, so I got Dallas winning this game. And so that concludes my Week 4 NFL predictions for the 2012 NFL season. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I better bounce back this week. It's been an ugly year so far for me predicting. And so we'll see how it goes. Looking forward to a lot of games this weekend, as well as the Monday Nighter that I think is going to be the ugliest game of the year. And so thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'll see you guys later.